Welcome to the Mugiwara Sketches YouTube channel, buddy. In today's video, we've got a juicy topic for you, the power dynamics between the Fleet Admirals, and the formidable Yonko in the One Piece universe. Fans have always been interested in the Admirals and the Yonko when it comes to the best fighters in the world of One Piece. This is just because these are the story's top fighters, and everyone thinks they are the strongest in their groups. People think that the Yonko are the most important pirates in the New Age, and the Admirals are the most important Marines for the world government. Of course, when it comes to Admirals, the Fleet Admiral's job is one of the most interesting. In the past, some of the best figures have been in this role. They might even be on the same level as the Yonko. Part 1, the Fleet Admirals versus the Admirals. Before you can compare the different Fleet Admirals to the Yonko in the world of One Piece, you have to compare the Fleet Admirals to each other. The Fleet Admiral is definitely more powerful than the Admirals, if not in every other way. These people are in charge of everything and are the most powerful people in the Navy. This occurrence is a recurring theme throughout the story. Sengoku was the Fleet Admiral at the start of One Piece. He was in charge of even the 3 Admirals of the Marines. Kong was the Fleet Admiral of the Marines before Sengoku. Fans don't know how strong he really was, but the fact that he was able to get to this position shows that he was a tough opponent for any pirate. As you might expect, Sengoku quit after the Paramount War. This led to a fight between Kazan and Sakazuki for the job of Fleet Admiral. Of course, the more powerful individual would get the position, and that person was Sakazuki, a kind who ultimately became the new Fleet Admiral of the Marines. This proved that he was the strongest admiral. People who like the show know that the Fleet Admiral of the Marines will be better than the other admirals. People who are already admirals pick Fleet Admirals, but that doesn't mean that when they get promoted, they can't get stronger. A Fleet Admiral and an Admiral are not the same in terms of how strong they are. The ways they are shown and their strengths differ. It doesn't mean that their strength stays the same after being promoted just because they used to be Admirals. It makes sense that Kazan, Sakazuki, and Borsalino, who were all Vice Admirals before becoming Admirals, would maintain their strength. They should be just as strong as the Vice Admirals. There is a clear range of positions, with the Fleet Admiral clearly at the top of the list. Part 2, the Fleet Admirals versus the Yonko. Finally, we know that the Fleet Admirals are a bit better than the Admirals. The Yonko, who have been proven to be much stronger than the Admirals, can now be compared to the Fleet Admirals. There have been instances in the story that support this claim, such as when Luffy defeated Kizaru despite not being at his best, and earlier when Shanks was able to intimidate Green Bull from a considerable distance. Even though the Admirals are strong, they are not as strong as the Yonko in the world of One Piece. The Fleet Admirals, on the other hand, are a different matter. When looking at the other Admirals in One Piece, Sengoku was seen as a very interesting character. His stories were as well known as those of Whitebeard, Roger, and even Garp. It was clear that Sengoku was too strong, and in One Piece Chapter 965, Roger made it clear that the Marines should bring either Garp or Sengoku if they wanted to fight him in any way. This makes it clear that Roger knows Sengoku is strong and looks forward to a fight with him. Sengoku, as the Fleet Admiral, is portrayed as the best admiral in One Piece. Sengoku also uses the color of the Supreme King, which is another feature that fans like. So far, only 2 Marines in One Piece have demonstrated the ability to use this incredible power. Sengoku is one of them. Naturally, Garp is the other one. Anyone who follows the show shouldn't be surprised that Sengoku can use the advanced version of the color of the Supreme King. He also shouldn't be surprised that he can inject Conqueror's Haki. Yonko pirates are usually different from admirals because they use both powerful devil fruits and the color of the Supreme King. This makes sense since they are emperors of the sea, and the admirals are just puppets. Having Conqueror's Haki does make sense for the Fleet Admiral, though. You could say that these are the leaders of the Marines, and they are directly competing with the Yonko to be the best at controlling the seas. Because Sengoku had this power, it only makes sense that the Fleet Admiral is maybe stronger than any other Marine in the world of One Piece. Part 3. Are the Yonko stronger than the Fleet Admirals? If you want to know how the Yonko compares to the Fleet Admirals, you have to look at each case separately. Fans don't know much about Kong, so we can't make any assumptions yet. At the very least, he is competent enough to face a Yonko, but it is unclear whether he can fully beat them. In Sengoku, on the other hand, things are very different. Although Sengoku is very strong, it is possible for him to beat a Yonko, but it's also possible for him to lose to a Yonko. People who like him can at least say that he is a Marine on the same level as the Yonko, but not better than them. But when you compare Sengoku to the heroes of the past, he is clearly at the bottom of the list. There was a huge difference between Whitebeard and Roger. Garp was also on the same level as Roger. Sengoku was the youngest of the bunch, which means he might also have a hard time with the Yonko, who are the best. Fans only know one thing about Sakazuki. He lost badly to Whitebeard in Marineford, and Whitebeard was already dying and couldn't even use Conqueror's Haki Infusion. Despite this, he suffered a significant defeat and sustained severe injuries. Still, Sakazuki could have gotten even stronger over the past 2 years. Right now, as a Fleet Admiral, the most powerful thing he can get is the Devil Fruit Awakening and maybe even the color of the Supreme King. Devil Fruit Awakening is definitely within his reach, but the same cannot be said for the color of the Supreme King. This Fleet Admiral will still be less powerful than the Yonko, even if he gets one of them. If he manages to obtain both, however, he will be regarded as being on par with the Yonko. That being said, it should still be possible for any Yonko other than Buggy to beat Sakazuki. Since we're willing to believe the Fleet Admiral, they are probably still not as powerful as the Yonko, but they are very close to them in terms of power. Summary and highlights. In the Marines, the Fleet Admiral is in charge and more powerful than all the other admirals. The former Fleet Admiral, Sengoku, is thought to be as strong as Yonko. If the present Fleet Admiral, Sakazuki, gets Devil Fruit Awakening and the color of the Supreme King, he might be as powerful as the Yonko. And there you have it, folks. The power dynamics in the One Piece world are as intricate as ever. What are your thoughts on the Fleet Admirals, and Yonko? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth One Piece content. Until next time, sail on, adventurers. Thank you very much for visiting the Mugiwara Sketches YouTube channel, buddy. We hope you enjoy our funny sketch videos and anime reviews. Don't forget to subscribe to continue joining us on our joyful journey in the world of anime. If you have any wishes, questions, or suggestions for our next videos, feel free to express your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for your support, and until we meet again. See you next time, buddy. What is One Piece anime? One Piece is a manga and anime story about a young boy named Monkey D. Luffy who wants to be the king of the pirates in the world. As a child, he eats a devil fruit, a strange plant that makes him able to stretch like rubber. Before the show starts, Luffy goes out into the world for the first time and starts to gather a group of pirates. The main group grows over time, but it starts with Luffy, Nami the Navigator, and a swordsman named Roronoa Zoro. At some point, Luffy and his friends are known as the Straw Hat Pirates, and they go on many exciting adventures across the ocean. One Piece is a lot of fun because it's silly. Luffy goes from island to island around the world in the series. Each island has its own setting and theme. It's a pretty fantastical world full of animals that look like people, live skeletons, and other delightfully strange things. Within moments the group is in a winter scene, and the next they are on a tropical island full of giants. The show is full of silly and bright details. For example, Zoro holds a sword in his mouth, a scary military boss wears a cute bulldog hat, and people don't use phones to talk to each other instead. They use special transponder snails that can send and receive messages. Luffy is a carefree person who just wants to eat a tasty meal and laugh at bad jokes. Even though there are some funny parts in the series, a lot of One Piece is about freedom. During his travels, Luffy often takes up guns to help his friends and encourages others to do the same against pirates and government-backed military occupations. The characters in Luffy and his crew get stronger with each fight, which is typical for shonen manga. A lot of the story is about how Luffy beats a problem that seemed impossible to solve and finds some kind of secret power. After each fight, Luffy and his team get stronger and move closer to his main goal, which is to find the One Piece. Why is it called One Piece? The first part of both the manga and the anime shows that Pirate King Gold D. Roger is telling the truth about the mythical wealth called the One Piece. One Piece is the name of the show because Luffy wants to find the One Piece and become the next Pirate King. One of Luffy's main goals in the show is mentioned in the show's title. What is the One Piece? The answer to this question is still one of the biggest secrets in the series. It's been more than 1,000 episodes, and we still don't know what One Piece is. We know that the One Piece is the name of the treasure that Gold D. Roger collected on his travels because of details in the manga. We still don't know a lot about the treasure, though. There are a lot of ideas from fans about what the One Piece is, but we still don't know what it is or even if it's real. The the One Piece could just be the friends Luffy makes along the way.